Buenos dias.
Hello. We're back.
We're back. We're back on our channel and we're back in Guatemala.
Yeah, it's like this beautiful cycle. We have arrived back at Lago Atitlan and yeah, it feels really good to return to this flow.
Yeah, and it's inspiring us to jump back on and share with you all what's been going on with us. We're living in just a beautiful place, and I'm constantly wondering, like, how is it that there are problems? How do I have problems? Like, it's just, we have food and a beautiful home and a kitty, loving relationship, and like problems. And I think a big theme for today that we're going to focus on is the idea of needs. And that's a huge topic, but it kind of speaks to how problems, I mean, depending how you look at it, but like how contentment can sometimes seem to run out. And it's like back to desiring and wanting. And in the past, I've looked at this as like, I should be content all the time. Like desiring and wanting is a sign of like a lack of contentment and satisfaction and gratitude. And Lavina was just talking about it this morning, like the universe is expanding and so are we.
Yeah, it's like the nature of the universe is to be constantly and continually expanding infinitely in all directions. And so that's not to deny the importance of embracing gratitude in every moment. However, there is this, this shift of perspective that I've been playing with, and it's really, rather than denying my desires, welcoming them and becoming inquisitive, like, what is this desire? And, can this desire also be divine? And then like allowing my desires to also expand as life gets better. Can it become even more beautiful? How much more expansive can the experience of living be?
Yeah, the process of evolution that all life on earth is undergoing is being manifested through this willpower that we feel. And so to drop in, like we can just bring you in where we're at with me, Haribo, right now. I'm navigating needs and desires around like feeling a sense of contribution to community and to the world, and like contributing my energy to resolving injustices and suffering that I see in the world. And then also like being seen and feeling significant and important. And that those needs and desires, depending on how I'm interacting with them, with Lavina as my partner, I can feel inspired by seeing Lavina fulfill those needs and desires through her work. And also sometimes I can feel envy and comparison as I see Lavina like actualizing those needs and desires.
Yeah, I think there might be value in expressing these basic human needs that we're referring to, because this is something that I'm studying in a course that is filling my need to grow and expand and to then further that into contributing back into the work that I'm offering in the world. But yeah, so the 6 human needs are certainty. So that gets into stability, safety, and comfort.
One lens of human need. Many theories have proposed needs. This is just one lens that we've resonated with.
Yes. So certainty, so stability, safety, and comfort. Variety, so that desire, that need for stimulus and change. Significance, the need to feel important and worthy. Connection and love, so the need to give love, to be loved, and to share love. And growth, to be continuing to develop, to expand in knowledge, in whatever it is that is pulling you. So that need for growth, and then contribution, to give beyond oneself. So we've been looking at this and like applying that to when little tweaks or triggers or disharmony arises in our relationship, it's like, what need is not being met here?
Harry's feeling heavy. Why is Harry feeling heavy? In the past, I've just said, I'm just heavy. Can we just let that be? And yeah, you've been great about that. We've evolved a lot. It's hard to be holding space for a partner who's just heavy because there's a desire to resolve it and to feel light, because lightness does feel nice. And so the heaviness, now we're seeing like, okay, is there a need that's not being met? Probably, but I don't know what it is. And having this vocabulary, it really helps. Like, oh, well, let me just reflect on like, what are some of the needs that often come up for us? And I'm able to put words to it now. Like, I've been feeling a really strong need for significance and contribution, and it's not being actualized. And I see you actualizing it through your work. And because I'm not really satisfied with it, I'm feeling a bit jealous.
And this is now, you putting that into words right now is even an evolution than when we were in a little last night. Because last night, putting words to it wasn't there. So it actually created disconnect between us. And then there was no space for the needs to even be met. It's like, when we understand our needs, when I understand my needs, then I can express my needs. Like, when this happened, I experienced this, and my need for this was not met, and now I can make a request, and with that clarity, with that framework, it allows for our needs to actually have space to then come to fruition, like, or having our needs met.
It's a big shift, and it's actually occurring right now. It occurred last night, and it's almost like a remembering. Like, we're constantly remembering these things, and this is one beautiful quality of a relationship, is having someone to be a mirror. Like, I come home, and if I was just to come home alone, I would process on my own and I'd get somewhere. Having Lavina here to then be able to say, like, or to even perceive my state, my mood, my attitude, and then offer, hey, is there, what needs of yours are not being met right now? And there's a million ways to say it, and everyone might find their own way to express it, but it's a powerful question just to come back to that. Something we've talked about in the past. Every behavior expresses a need.
Yeah.
And it's like,
this is part of the growth. The expansion, it's like, we've said this before, every behavior expresses a need. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into that. What are the needs? Because they can also be broken down, and having a framework, it's like, having that frame is almost like a boundary. It creates a container, which is also woven into the realm of the masculine. Like, we need to have balance between the masculine and feminine in all aspects of life. So when we have this framework, it creates a container, it creates a boundary that we can now swim and dance within, right? So every behavior expresses a need. Okay, now we have these categories of needs, right? So we break it down. Now we have these 6 categories of needs. How can we now dance within that space to come back to center, to come back to harmony, to come back to joy, pleasure, freedom?
It is powerful. I'm feeling it right now. Because for so long, I've been like, I don't even know what I need. And having the vocabulary is really helpful. And check in with it. Like, I this morning I'm writing, like, is that how I resonate? Like, find the words that work for it. These are just words to articulate an experience. And we can each express our own words that resonate. But it's like, having the vocabulary is so powerful.
Yeah.
Another piece to this as well is, yes, how wonderful it is to have a partner to navigate this territory with. And there's also the balance, which is like exploring needs through my own experience and like asking myself what I need and working through it on my own. And so this is an area where Lavina and I sometimes differ, where I tend to like want to process on my own and I'm not as communicative. Whereas Lavina can be like, I'm vulnerable, I need help, I want you.
Right. And that's exactly what happened. So for whatever reason, yesterday we're both feeling different expressions of heaviness. And for me, when I'm feeling vulnerable or when I feel that I need help, I am ready. I'm so ready to ask for what I need. Like, so Harry was out and I sent him a message and said, I'm feeling really vulnerable today. I want you. You know, who knows what that even really meant, but that was me expressing my need for connection and love to maybe validate some kind of insecurity that was arising, bubbling up within me. So a tendency that I have is to kind of, boom, right away ask for help. And it always comes back to balance because there is also value in self-sourcing. So doing that work to fill my own cup while also feeling the freedom to ask for my needs and to ask for that support when needed.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel that you tend to have that kind of the opposite approach, which is like, I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
Which then keeps me on the outside and I'm like, well, how do I interact with you here? Like, I want to support you. I want to be here for you. But it's hard for me I feel like I'm like walking on eggshells.
Yeah. There's so many variables to this too, because the needs that I'm dealing with are being triggered by my partner because she's actualizing these needs. So that adds like kind of a difficult variable to the equation, which if I'm centered and grounded can be a gift. Like, okay, like, can I receive your advice coming from someone who's doing and actualizing those needs, as opposed to like, you don't even understand me, like, you've got your great job and you're doing everything right, like everything you're saying is just triggering me more.
Right.
So that's another tough part to this. Like, the more we talk about these things, like, the nature of romantic relationship is a gigantic tree, and every leaf is like, every vein on every leaf is like one aspect of romantic relationships, and we're just like touching upon whatever's coming up. So we try to be focused and zoom in, but also there's this huge tree that we're just like in awe of.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to like hone it back in, it does come back to sovereignty, autonomy, and balance, because all of these sides are valid, you know, like asking for help is valid, and self-sourcing and doing it solo is valid, you know. Having the awareness of our needs is that stepping stone, and then how do we navigate within that framework? It's a dance.
It's a dance.
It's
You
a
said
dance.
it,
Yeah.
right? It's a dance, and I stumble when I project my frustrations on Lavina. That's a stumbling dance. It's not wrong, it just happened. I got mad at Lavina and she didn't do anything wrong. I was just upset. So I stumbled in the dance. Okay, get back on your feet. Let's keep dancing.
Yeah. Try again. Like, you fall, get back up. Let's learn from this. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. I thought you were going to give me a high five.
Oh.
Let's grow. And that's it. That's what makes it fun. That is what it comes back to. You know, we're in this relationship and we're going to trigger each other. It's just part of it because we are mirrors. Everyone in this life, we're all mirrors for each other. When we are living together, when we are coexisting in a space together, we're going to trigger each other. And every trigger is a gift because it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to have that need for growth and expansion be met.
Yeah.
If we're willing to look at it. You know, to push off all these triggers is not conducive to growth. You know? So being with it, being with all of it, dancing with the highs and the lows, and finding the middle way, finding that path of harmony.
Okay.
Yeah. Excited to be back. We're going to be on here on a regular basis. This is the intention because it feels really valuable to share. And yeah, sending you all so much love.
More to come.